Breaking royal news. Princess Leonor stuns Copenhagen, Margrethe II greets her. It was supposed to be an ordinary royal gathering in Copenhagen, a diplomatic visit, formal smiles, polite gestures. Yet, no one could have predicted what would unfold when Spain's future queen stepped onto Danish soil. Cameras flashed, crowds gasped, and Europe itself seemed to pause. Why? Because Princess Leonor of Spain didn't just arrive, she commanded the stage of European royalty in a way that no one had seen before. But how did this young royal, barely into her 20s, manage to capture the heart of Queen Margrethe II and stun an entire nation known for its reserve and elegance? What truly happened behind those palace doors that left royal watchers speechless across Europe? Let's begin with the moment that changed everything. When the royal aircraft touched down in Copenhagen, the cool Nordic air greeted Princess Leonor as she descended the steps in a soft, pale blue ensemble, a symbolic nod to the Danish flag's tones. Standing nearby, Queen Margrethe II, ever the regal matriarch of Scandinavia, extended her hand. But what followed was no ordinary greeting. Instead of the expected formal handshake, the Queen embraced Leonor warmly, almost maternally, her smile wide and sincere. The cameras captured it all. That single gesture, an unplanned moment of connection, instantly broke through centuries of protocol. Across Europe, headlines exploded. Margrethe II welcomes Spain's future queen as family. But this was no mere display of courtesy. Those close to the Danish court whispered that Margrethe had taken a deep interest in Leonor's growth as a monarch in training. The queen saw something of herself in the young Spanish royal, a woman stepping into leadership at a time of immense change. As the royal motorcade rolled through the cobbled streets of Copenhagen, crowds lined the route waving both Spanish and Danish flags. Children shouted Leonor's name, while many older Danes expressed admiration for her composure and grace. "She reminds us of our own queen in her youth," one onlooker said, tears glistening in her eyes. Inside Amalienborg Palace, a quiet elegance filled the halls. The dinner that night was private, attended only by senior members of the Spanish and Danish royal families. Yet leaks soon emerged, about laughter, warmth, and an almost familial bond forming between the two houses. What was meant to be a diplomatic courtesy had transformed into an intimate royal alliance rooted in mutual respect and shared destiny. Observers noted something profound. Queen Margrethe had never publicly shown such affection toward a foreign royal since the early days of her reign. It was as though she was symbolically passing a torch, not of power, but of wisdom. Leonor, poised and sincere, listened intently, her eyes filled with quiet admiration. She was not just learning the customs of another court, she was learning how to be the heart of one. But beneath the beauty of the moment lay a deeper intrigue. Why was this meeting so important, so personal, for both monarchs? The answer, insiders suggest, lies in the delicate state of modern monarchy itself. Both Spain and Denmark, though cherished by their people, are navigating a rapidly changing Europe. In an age of political shifts and public skepticism, the survival of monarchy depends not only on ceremony but on authenticity. And authenticity was precisely what Leonor brought to Copenhagen. Her humility, her fluent Danish greetings, and her willingness to engage directly with the public signaled something rare, a new generation of royalty unafraid to be human. Even members of the Danish press, often reserved and critical, described her presence as magnetic. One columnist wrote, "It was as if Copenhagen itself fell under her spell for one night." But this event also sparked whispers. What did this new warmth mean for Europe's royal alliances? Was Spain quietly forging deeper ties with Denmark, perhaps in preparation for future continental influence? Some analysts believe that the meeting was more than symbolic, it was strategic. Both nations, anchored by long-standing monarchies, see in each other a reflection of continuity and strength. Still, beyond diplomacy, something more emotional was unfolding. Queen Margrethe, now in the later years of her reign, seemed almost nostalgic as she watched Leonor interact with guests. At one point, during the post-dinner toast, she raised her glass and said, "To the future, and to those who will carry it with grace." Leonor's eyes met hers. The room fell silent. Every royal observer knew that moment meant more than words could express. The following morning, Photographs captured Leonor visiting Danish youth organizations, echoing her own projects in Spain that promote civic duty and leadership among young people. The parallels were unmistakable. The media declared, "From Madrid to Copenhagen, a new royal spirit rises." But it was at the farewell ceremony where the world witnessed the most tender moment of all. As Leonor prepared to board her flight back to Madrid, Queen Margrethe, breaking again from formality, reached out and held Leonor's hands tightly. She whispered something, unheard by the cameras, but Leonor's expression softened, her eyes glistening. It was a private message from one queen to another in waiting. A message that needed no translation. Later that day, palace insiders revealed that Margrethe had told Leonor, "Never forget that the crown is not worn on the head, but in the heart." That statement rippled across Europe. It wasn't just advice, it was a legacy passed from Denmark's reigning queen to Spain's future monarch. Back in Spain, the atmosphere was electric. News networks replayed the Copenhagen footage on loop. Social media overflowed with admiration, pride, and speculation. Was this the beginning of a new royal chapter for Europe? Was Leonor, in her poised yet youthful way, redefining what monarchy means in the 21st century? Royal commentators began drawing parallels to historic moments, the meeting of young Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Grace of Monaco, the bonds between European houses that once shaped diplomacy for centuries. Yet this encounter felt different. It was modern, emotional, real. Even within Spain's royal household, sources hinted at a newfound confidence in Leonor's growing maturity. King Felipe and Queen Letizia were said to be deeply proud of how their daughter handled herself, bridging generations and nations in a single visit. And in Denmark, Queen Margrethe reportedly told aides that she had been deeply moved by Leonor's presence. For a monarch known for her wisdom and restraint, such praise was extraordinary. As days passed, the narrative grew. Commentators noted how Leonor's style, simple yet elegant, mirrored the diplomacy of her visit. Her actions spoke louder than words, revealing a monarch not bound by age, but by grace. And now, royal watchers across the continent are left wondering, what's next? Will this powerful bond between Spain and Denmark lead to closer royal collaboration? Could this mark the dawn of a new European royal alliance, guided by the wisdom of Margrethe and the promise of Leonor? The answer remains unwritten, but one truth stands clear. That moment in Copenhagen, when Queen Margrethe embraced Spain's future queen, was more than royal ceremony. It was history unfolding, a bridge between eras, generations, and nations. For those who watched, it was not just a royal visit. It was a glimpse into the heart of monarchy itself, one that beats, not for tradition alone, but for humanity. Princess Leonor didn't just stun Copenhagen. She reminded the world that royalty, at its best, is not about crowns or carriages, but about connection, grace, and the power of sincerity. And as the sun set over the Danish capital that evening, its golden light reflecting off Amalienborg's grand facade, it felt as though Europe itself was watching the rise of a new era, one where the old and the new, the past and the future, meet in a single, unforgettable embrace. Princess Leonor, Queen Margrethe, two worlds, one royal heart.